trying to be right all the time when you're trading, and instead start becoming consistent. Trying to be right every trade is exactly what is stopping you from being consistent as a trader. In this video, I'm going to explain why your brain is wired to be right and how that is causing you to have emotional trading patterns, and exactly how you can break out of this pattern so that you can start to become that consistently profitable trader that is already within you. Wanting to be right, or that urge to be right, is not an issue with your trading or your trading plan or your trading strategy. It's a problem with your psychology, okay? From childhood, we have all learned, or we have been rewarded for being accurate. So whether that meant that we'll get answers right, or would be praised for being correct, or whether that meant would avoid making mistakes and avoid criticism. So through those early experiences, we have learned that being right is safe, whilst being wrong is threatening. Okay, and then what happens is we come across trading, and now when we take a loss, we lose money, and we perceive that to be a bad thing, and it leads to maybe feelings of embarrassment, shame, or disappointment, and maybe even thinking that we can't do it or we're not cut out for this. So because of this learnt desire to be right, when we're trading, we now end up fighting the market. It becomes so hard to follow our rules, because if we were to follow our rules, it would mean taking losses. But instead, to prevent that feeling of threat, that feeling of disappointment, shame, or feeling like we can't do it, we're now over trading to make our money back from losses. We're now exiting trades early just to secure a win, even if it means we're not profitable in the long term. So when we come into trading with this underlying subconscious belief that we have to be right in order to be rewarded, it leads to us trading in an emotional way. So as I mentioned, we will do things like exit a trade early just so that we can secure that win, even if it means that we're not profitable. Or we'll hold on to losers for longer in hopes that it will mean that we'll be right. Or maybe we might even skip a trade, even though we see our entry, our trading rules and our criteria is met, so it tells you that you need to enter, but we just avoid it because we can't take the risk of being wrong, because of this underlying belief that we have that we must be right all the time in order to be successful. And what this does, this way of thinking and this drive to be right, unintentionally causes the very outcome that we don't want, which is inconsistency and not being profitable. So trading is an area of life where you don't have to be right every time in order to be successful. And in fact, it's a fact that you won't be right every time, because the market is uncertain. None of us have a crystal ball, so we can't know where the market is going, but we can have an edge. And as long as we follow that edge, then we will be rewarded. If you want to be a consistent trader, you need to stop caring about being right. And you need to put that same energy towards caring about following your plan. Care about executing your setup. Care about risk management. Care about being neutral in your thinking. Care about repeating the same behaviors again and again and again. The market doesn't reward you being correct all the time. The market rewards you if your risk is managed well, and it rewards repetition. So, in the trading environment, you really have to reframe that subconscious belief that you have to be right in order to be rewarded or in order to be successful, because that is not the case in trading. So, we have this belief of I must be right, which leads to thoughts like, oh, I hope this wins. Oh, I can't, I don't want this to be a loss, okay, when you're live in the market. And instead, change that belief of I must be right to I must follow my plan. Okay, I must follow my plan. When you shift your focus away from being right to following your plan, there's way less pressure on you now because your one job is to follow your trading rules. I see your trading rules like a job description. If you've ever had a job, you know that your job description tells you exactly what you have to do in order to make money. And that is what your trading plan is. That's all you have to do. You don't have to try to be right. You don't have to try to prevent losing. You just have to follow your rules. So turn up to your desk, read your trading rules, aka your job description, and do the job. That's it. Whether you take a win or a loss, you've won because you've followed your trading plan. The focus is not on being right. The focus is on following the process. And that is how you get consistency. Trying to be right all the time is unintentionally leading to inconsistency and you being unprofitable. Following your trading rules and your plan leads to success. So, as a cognitive behavioural therapist by background, I think it would be really helpful to set up a behavioural experiment which will give you the opportunity to test out this idea or this belief that you have to be right in order to be successful as a trader. Now, a behavioural experiment is where you deliberately do something different and test out the outcome of that. So I would suggest for the next 5 trades only, you don't have to commit to doing this forever. You're just going to say to yourself, I'm just going to do this for the next 5 trades. We're going to make this as manageable for you as possible, okay? We want to stretch you without stressing you out. So you're going to say for the next 5 trades, my one goal is to follow my entry criteria and follow my exit criteria as outlined in my trading plan. That is your one job, your one focus for the next 5 trades. And after each trade, you're going to ask yourself, did I execute according to my plan? You're not going to ask yourself, was it a win? And this way, you're starting to gradually allow your brain to associate success with your trading behavior, not the trade outcome. And through doing this, you're now, when you see the outcome of that and that you're actually allowing your edge to play out, you're now going to chip away at that belief that you have to be right in order to be successful. Because over a series of trades, you're now seeing that when you execute according to your plan, that's actually how you win. So when you finally chipped away at that belief that you must be right in order to be successful as a trader, that is where your consistency starts to grow. You no longer jump into random trades. You no longer force entries. You no longer move your stop loss. You're now trading from a more neutral, calm place. You're able to wait for the market to come to you. You're able to wait for your setup. You're no longer predicting where price is going. You're now being disciplined. You're now process focused as opposed to outcome focused. So, in summary, as humans, we have been rewarded throughout our lifetime from childhood for being accurate and for being right. So we have naturally learned that being right is safe, whilst being wrong is a threat. And then we come into trading with this mindset. And we get stuck in these vicious loops of inconsistency because we have this underlying drive and desire to be right all the time. We think that's the way to be successful. Now, if you start to chip away at that belief and allow yourself the opportunity to just follow your rules, follow your entry criteria, follow your exit criteria, you then allow your brain to learn that success is a behavior and not your outcome. I hope you found this video helpful to raise your awareness of yourself and your psychology that might be causing inconsistency in your trading performance. I have created some trading psychology related resources which you might find helpful, including a trader's positive data log linked below, which helps to increase your belief in your ability to trade. And if you want further psychological training to help you to align your mind, your emotion, and your execution, take a look at my trading psychology course, which you might find helpful, which is also linked below and available at thetradersmuse.com. For more trading psychology videos, please subscribe to my channel and also click the notification bell so you can catch me live trading where I demonstrate trading psychology in real time. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.